AJ Winbush, fireman going into cyber.
So, what inspired you to become a firefighter?
Initially, it was I was doing a retail job and I was on lunch and I was sitting at like a tabletop looking out the window and I saw an accident right across the street. And I saw the fire truck and I saw the ambulance respond and they actually had to cut the guy out the car. And I said, wow, that's pretty cool. I think I can do that. So, me being inquisitive, I went to my local fire department and talked to the chief, and he was like, I get a million guys like you off the street every day, wanting to do this job. So he says, you got to go to EMT school. And I did that, went back to the same guy, says, all right, now you got to go to a fire academy. Went to that, came back, and he's like, man, you did all those so quick. And I said, yeah, what's next? He's like, now you got to go to paramedic school. So I went to paramedic school and came back, and he's like, I gave you a job myself, but you got to go through the testing process. And so I did the testing process and I was up against the clock because in Illinois, once you turn 35, you can't be a career fireman past 35. You have to be full time somewhere by 35. And I'm blessed enough for that to happen. And I'm loving what I'm doing.
So, with being a firefighter, you're a part of people's worst days and you got to be there and strong for them. But how do you split, being a firefighter and helping your own mental health?
The number one thing that I've really gotten that's helped me the most is it's going to sound cliche. It's exercise. You have a bad day, you go blow off some steam at the gym, and you usually feel a lot better. I have a wife who's very supportive that I've been able to have conversations with about my day and how I'm feeling, and she's very understanding. I've got a lot of other friends to kind of help bounce off, the way you feel about things because keeping it bottled up isn't going to help. It's nice to have someone to talk to. So that's how I kind of decompress and deal with the rigors of the job.
What are some of the things you've learned from your wife?
Um, the biggest one was you can't save everyone. He says, I know you're trained to do a job, but you're not going to save everyone. People will die, and I think that's something that she helped me understand very, very quickly after having some calls that, don't necessarily go your way or the way you'd like them to have gone. And you just have to know that you gave everything you could to the individuals you're trying to help.
So I found you on LinkedIn that your graduation, which is congratulations. Can you tell me about uh, your school experience?
Sure. Well, I wasn't going to go to school. My instructor in paramedic school was a fireman who got hurt on the job and no longer could do the job, but he had his degree to fall back on. So I remember when I graduated, he said, do me a favor, if you ever graduate, I mean, if you ever get hired full time, go to school for something, man. You can get hurt any day doing this job. So that was very nice to hear. So I started doing some homework and looking around and I've always kind of been into computers, but like building them. And then as like things would happen, like the big Twitter hack or breach that happened 5, 6 years ago was kind of interesting. So then I kind of would do a little homework and I was like, you know what? I think I'd like to go into this. So did a little homework, found a school out by me, and it was an adventure. I'll never forget when I met the dean of the program, and he said, you can't be a fireman and do school at the same time. And I laughed in his face. And he said, I'm sorry, what's so funny? And I said, with all due respect, I think it's funny that you can put limitations on what I can do and can't do.
Hmm.
And I said, just watch me. I'm going to get this done. And I did it faster than he thought I'd get it done. It's a great school. the Illinois Institute of Technology, right on the south side, 2 blocks from where the White Sox play. There are people there who have worked for the CIA, FBI, DOD, people with real world experience that teach you the job and can show you the way and depending on which way you want to go, there's so many avenues in cybersecurity, but it was a blast in school. There's some long nights and it's for everyone has long nights, but it's definitely was worth it.
How does it feel for you just to know that you're doing a great job?
You have to believe in yourself. Everyone, it's your journey. Not everyone's going to support that journey. And you just need to keep a small support system if you have one. My wife has 2 master's degrees, so if anyone knew what I was going through with huge projects and 30-page papers, she did, as an educator with 2 masters. And her advice helped me in the support. There were days where I was like, maybe I shouldn't have done this, and those doubts creep into your mind. But it was proving myself right that I can do this. I'm not your typical. I'm mid to late 30s sitting next to 19-year-olds. It's and you just got to know you belong.
Yeah, I went back to school a little later. I was 10 years older than everyone, but that didn't stop me at all.
No, didn't stop me at all.
So, if what you wrote on the your LinkedIn post, which was, you're creating your own path, uh, it may be uncomfortable and all that, but you're doing it. But what advice would you give people who want to create their own paths as well?
Um, to be realistic about the path that you're creating. If you think it's going to be just smooth sailing and no bumps in the road and no obstacles and life isn't going to happen, and you have to account for those and know that they're going to come. You should anticipate it. It's going to happen. Um, I would tell people that that support system, like I stated before, is very important. It could be one person, it can be 50 people, but they need to be people who do believe in you. And they're going to tell you things you don't want to hear.
Yeah.
You know, I really don't feel like doing this paper today. The paper's due. You got to get it done. So you might as well go upstairs and finish your paper. And it's uncomfortable. It's a lonely journey, and that's okay. Sometimes it's good to walk it alone. You get a lot of mental toughness going through school. Um, because teachers, they're there to do their job. They teach, you learn. There's no gray area. So you have to understand that you are solely responsible for your outcome. You don't want to go to class, you don't have to go to class, but there's consequences for those choices. If you want to stay on top of your homework, stay on top of it, there's consequences. Consequences can be good or bad. So just know that there will be a lot of uncomfortable moments, but learn to get comfortable in them and know that it's a sign of growth.
In terms of your career, where do you want to see yourself in 5 years?
2 things. Number one, I want to start a nonprofit back in my hometown where K through 8 people can donate, servers, printers, laptops, computers, whatever. And I want to expose my hometown to the areas of cybersecurity and STEM as a whole. It's not very much talked about here. And I think you can get a lot of people going down a really good path if they've been immersed in this at the earliest parts of their learning platform. Secondly, I would like to be in 5 years, I'd like to be a cloud threat detection engineer. I really like the blue team and I like incident response, but I also like threat hunting as well. And they can kind of go hand in hand. And I'm really starting to take a strong interest in the cloud. So that's where I would like to see myself in 5 years.
What motivates you?
Um, I would probably say seeing how far I can push myself is a big thing. The unknown, how far can I go? What can I do? Things that I've never thought before, you know, well, I never thought I could do that, but I never thought I could, get a master's degree first in my family, but I did. So I think the unknown of pushing myself to my limits, but also giving back is a very big thing. There are so many organizations that helped me along the way. Black Girls Hack, Blacks in Cybersecurity, Women in Cybersecurity. There's so many organizations that motivates me as well because a lot of people, it's gimme, 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 and I'm out to get mine, and I don't want to share with anyone else. And this world of cybersecurity is so vast. Everyone is should be able to relish in it and learn from it.
Yeah, with that cybersecurity, what is your goal for, to have more diversity in that field?
Well, it just from what I've seen firsthand, the minorities underrepresented are women's a big one, and then I would probably say people of color. A lot of times in class, I was the only person of color, and again, that's why I really want to do that nonprofit because it will expose people of multiple different backgrounds to it at a young age. We're in a society now where I want to be the next TikTok star or YouTube sensation, and that's fine by all means. I'm not saying chase your dreams, but this is something that's not going anywhere and it is exploding every day. You hear something that deals with cybersecurity, and it's something that will, I won't say guarantee, but provides more avenues for underrepresented people than the TikToks and the YouTubes and
Right.
being the next some type of sensation.